Thank you very much. Well, yes, first of all, I'm really glad to be here, and thank you very much for inviting me, Pavel and Lilia. I came all the way from Germany, Hamburg, and I've never been here before. I really like Odessa, but I booked the wrong hotel, and so I had no sleep for the last 2 nights because of some noisy stuff going on there, so please excuse me. I didn't wear a shirt today, you know, I'm really tired in my head, maybe I'm a little slow, so please excuse that. But I changed the hotel this morning, so hopefully it's going to be better now. Yeah, so far for that. Now, KOINA is what I'm going to introduce to you now, and the title that I choose for today is KOINA Commercial Money Cracking Fiat, because I think that the whole Bitcoin community has up to now not yet designed any really efficient currency that is delivering liquidity to the market. All the cryptocurrencies at the moment that at least I know about are extracting liquidity out of the market. And this doesn't really make sense. As a currency, Bitcoin doesn't solve any financial systemic problem that we are facing in the world. In contrary, it's making it even worse. So why don't we use that new capabilities, these new technologies, to design a currency that solves problems? And this is what KOINA is about. So first of all, in order to understand KOINA, you have to understand what the basic flaws of the monetary system we're living in are, and of course what money is. And money is not a limited commodity. Let's say that first, because most people still think money is a limited commodity, like Bitcoin. When I came here this morning, I was a little late. Timur was talking about what is Bitcoin. Bitcoin, in my point of view, is a limited commodity. So the basic flaws of the system we're living in are very crucial. Today, banks issue credit just out of thin air. We all know that now, yeah, by now. So the problem is not that they create money out of thin air. The problem is what happens after that. So if you go to a bank and you get a loan from the bank, they create new money by just typing in a number into your account. But what they don't create is the interest. But they are asking you for the interest. So let's just have a look at an example. I don't know how many people are here in this room, maybe 50? If we would have no money in the world, 50 people with no money, and a bank would come in and say, everybody gets 100 euros, and still ask for interest. I mean, 100 times 50, yeah, is... in interest, if we put that on top of interest, if we need to pay interest for that, each of us, like maybe 110, we would not have enough money to pay back that interest. And the systemic problem is that the interest is never created. So if we ask interest, if banks ask for interest, we would need to either create that or don't ask for it. But you cannot ask for something that isn't existing. So what we need to do is we need to find someone else who gets another credit, another 100, to take that from him so that we can pay back our interest to the bank. And so that's the Ponzi scheme we live in. And that's why there's only one spiral, only into one direction. And this is blowing the system up all 60 to 80 years. And so why don't we fix that? Nobody does. Yesterday I was talking to Yuri about that, and he said what I'm saying as well, central banks cannot fix that. Nobody can. And so what can we do? We can just design money differently. Let's redesign money with the technologies we're having now, and this is what we're doing with KOINA. So, first of all, let's take a look at money again. Legally, money is a bilateral contract between the bank and the borrower. So, this bilateral contract is what we are changing into a unilateral contract. So that means if you are delivering an added value to the economy, you can self-issue credit for this added value. You can monetize upfront that added value that you're going to produce. So you're basically saying, I'm a producer, or I'm part of the economy, I'm producing this and that value, and I promise to deliver this and that value to the economy, to the market. That's it. So it's a contract from one to all. It's like if you put if your dog ran away and you put a sign on the wall saying reward 1,000 euro. You don't have a contract with anybody. It's a unilateral contract. You promise to deliver that 1,000 if somebody brings you the dog. And this is it. This is how you can change a debt-based monetary system legally into a positive monetary system without these basic flaws. Now, of course, you need a legal framework for that, which enables that social contract to enable all market participants to self-issue credit. Of course, they all issue the same coin, otherwise we cannot trade with each other. And the legal framework that we have designed is the contrary of what the Bitcoin blockchain basically is, because the blockchain technology is not owned by anybody. You can say that it is good or bad. We think, as a monetary system, it should be owned by those who use it. So everybody who enters that system owns it legally, which is very important for compliance reasons. So all participants producing a value can self-issue through that through that social contract their KOINA money by signing it with their private key. So basically, if we take this famous Swedish cook as an example, he says that he is going to produce 1,000 loaves of bread to the market. That would be a delivery promise into the future that he can monetize. And this is just a simple front-end simulation. He would then put in his name, his bond that he's promising to deliver, bread, 1,000 loaf until that specific month. He's accepting the terms. And then he can create, with a good rating, this is a rating tool, that's why he can produce more than he could usually if you start with 100% in the very beginning. So if you do good in the system, you get rewarded by being able to have better credit conditions. And of course, the other way around, vice versa. That means this is what you self-issue as money. If one loaf of bread would cost 1,000, loaf of bread would equal €1 to 1 KOINA, you could self-issue maximum 1,000 loaf of bread. Of course, you wouldn't do that because if you have to pay back the whole credit that you self-issued at the end, you will not have any profit. So let me show that to you in how that looks in accounting terms. It is a surplus in cash on your cash account, and of course that raises your equity. And if you sell that bread to the market, the money comes back and it is deleted again. It's very simple. You create your own money for the future promise to deliver, you deliver, and the contract is fulfilled and the money is deleted. So this is the basics of a positive monetary system for self-issued credit. And you can do that here. You can do that anywhere in the world by just entering our framework. So this is the way how you make it possible legally. I don't know if you've heard of a capital asset partnership. Partnerships are basically established in Anglo-Saxon countries, but anybody in the world, you and I, we can sign an agreement, a partnership agreement. We agree on whatever we want. No country in the world, no legal system in the world can prevent us to do so. You can do that, you can do that. We can all agree upon a certain specific task just by agreeing with an agreement as a contract. That's it. No company involved, no state involved. It's very simple in basics. And if we all agree upon that same social contract, that's it. It's pretty simple. Nevertheless, of course, you have to think about things like liability. Who is, in a decentralized network, responsible for, if something goes wrong? Who's running the system? Who's paying for it? You have to pay certain costs for that. So therefore, we have designed that capital asset partnership where everybody who comes in, be it a service provider, or investors, or the businesses using the system, or consumers, all come into that one partnership, having the same rules for the game, little fee while credit, and with this you pay the system. And we're just the manager of the system. We don't have any central influence on it. And the whole thing then is brought into a trust that holds that asset that we all create together in trust. And it's based on trust law, not on company law. It's very important. It's an international framework that you can use to do stuff like that, like maritime law. Maritime law is accepted by any country. You could base a monetary system if you want on maritime law, if it makes sense. If they would want to change these laws, then they would, not be able to ship anything anymore from Odessa because they changed the shipping contracts. So this is basically the legal framework that enables self-issue credit, but still gives the monetary power to the people. And we can just organize that very simply. And that's what we do. And of course, we use these new modern technologies to enable that. And that's why I'm here. And Pavel is helping us with type. Hopefully we can show that to the world soon. And then you can start playing that game. At the moment, we're based in Switzerland. For compliance reasons, we're going through a compliance process at the moment in Switzerland. And this is some fees on some stuff that we provide to the world. Also, all the data that we get out of that system is open data that can be used by anybody. Everything is transparent and open for us. So, there's a lot more to that system. You can read more about that on our website. And so, if we design money smart, with the technologies that we are having today, we can change whole economic systems.
Wow.
That's it.
Thank you so much for the presentation. I think it's already on this stage we're able to give a great applause. So I know Daniel, and I heard him speaking about this concept like a couple of times, and he was always saying, well, you know what? I never receive like decent questions. I really want to hear like interesting questions. So are we ready to rock with interesting questions? See?
Hello. Yes, I agree. It's a very interesting presentation. Thank you very much. So I have two questions. So maybe one will be an interesting one. So first one, like ideological. Just tell me, have you looked? I'm sure you did into the complementary currencies. You know, these local currencies which were in Austria in 30s. You know, pretty much everywhere. I think in Europe there was an experiment. And what was the impact, and what did you, let's say, carbon copy it or whatever? What was taken, good or bad? So it's one thing, on influence on your idea, which is very neat to me. And then second question will be coming.
So yes, of course, I'm actually a part of that scene, and we have been developing that project over the years and trying to look at all existing projects. So there are more than 4,000. Some of them are Some of them are quite interesting, and some of them are quite successful, and some of them are not. So we try to figure out what doesn't work and what works. For example, in Switzerland, there's the Swiss beer, which is the biggest and the most known one in the world since more than 100 years almost. They have the problem that they created a lot of money, complementary currency, but not enough products to buy. So everybody's trying to get rid of their beer on the black market because it's forbidden to exchange. So we try to look at these problems of the others and try to prevent that while designing the currency architecture, which is pretty difficult. But yes, there's different purposes for different monetary systems, and the New Economics Foundation in England has just released a very interesting e-paper about that, about these different complementary currencies and their impact and their target money. It's very interesting.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. And second question is maybe more technical. So in your wallet simulation, I've seen you got like a rating system. What is this for, and how is it defined there?
Yes, very good question. Thank you. Very difficult as well. This is actually the most part. The basic idea is, that's why we're also having this green CI, we want to design a sustainable monetary system for a sustainable economy. So whenever you want to finance something that is sustainable, this is the basic idea behind the index. So you get, if you behave socially correct, if you pay your employees well, all that sustainable aspect to the economy, is what we want to rate in order to get credit conditions better.
Is it like a big data?
Yes, it's a data collection basically of existing data from NGOs, from public, from the public sector, from of course peer-to-peer, but also systemically. So, did you pay back your credit in time with the front end that I just simulated? So the systemic data is collected as well and influences then your credit conditions. So basically, we want to promote the economy because we have to. Otherwise, we will not survive. We have to redefine everything.
Could you go back to the slides with your theme? Yeah, that's it. Where is the current financial system here? Does it touch it at all?
No.
So there is no fiat at all?
No. Then that's the key to get compliant.
Okay, that's good. Second one.
It's a completely closed system.
Anyway, you are saying that there will be physical GmbH, so that means there is a company, AG and GmbH. So,
yes.
Okay. That is centralized, I guess.
Well, this is our company.
Yeah.
We're building this stuff. We're transferring...
As the developers.
Yeah, not only that, but also the whole currency architecture, legal framework. We're setting all that up. And this is what we are then delivering once it's done to the capital asset partnership for free. So we are transferring the asset that we built to the partnership. And then people who maybe want to add like a credit card in KOINA, we have partners who do so. They can come in as a service provider without asking us, just implement that product into the market. So they are firing that system with different products to make it work. Investors come in as well, invest in the whole partnership to build new stuff that is necessary. And so this is how the basic idea of that works. And we only get paid for service providing or for managing the system.
By who? Capital Asset Partnership pays you?
Well, everybody pays a little fee that goes into the trust.
Like in Bitcoin,
the trust
for example,
is managing 1% money creation fee. And the 1% creation fee goes into the accounts of the trust. The trust is a public trust. Lawyers, for example, in Switzerland at the moment. And then they transfer the money to us by rules that are defined by the partnership, not by us.
What kind of money they are transferring? Your money or they're transferring fiat?
KOINA, basically. At the moment, we still don't have KOINA yet, so we need to pay fiat money, like, server costs or whatever. So what we do is investors are investing in the company at the moment down there. That's how we started. But in the end, they're getting back KOINA.
Okay, I got it. Final question, Lydia. The whole thing, who is it controlled by? Is it like open source like Bitcoin, or you control the servers, you control the source code, and so on and so on?
The KOINA creation algorithm, let's say, the core of the currency.
Yep.
Is what we have in the company down there. All other stuff is opened.
So basically, you want to be the new Rothschild.
No, not at all. Not at all. No. It is nothing that is kept secret. That's what we're doing now. At the end, all these assets are transferred to a public trust. It's just in here. We don't own anything. We just build it. Well, the algorithm cannot be an open source project because otherwise you will destroy the whole currency architecture. You can use that legal framework to design a different currency, but once you change the KOINA currency economically, it will not work. So you have to. Well, it's owned by the public, but you cannot change the. As soon as we are done with it, hopefully by the end of the year.
I hate to break in. I know that this presentation and Daniel is giving a lot of thought-provoking information, but unfortunately, we will have to stop here, and Daniel is going to be with us the whole day, so just don't hesitate and feel free to ask all these questions.